As travelers around the world absorb the implications from this week's crash of Egyptair Flight 804, questions are being raised about how to improve airport security. Well, we're talking about some things that they've found already. Aviation expert Ed Booth is here to break down the latest developments in the crash. So,
good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. What kind of evidence are they finding?
We have now automatic reported data from the aircraft that indicates a rapidly moving fire that began and put the airplane out of control within about 3 minutes.
Wow. I know you were showing me kind of a timeline here on the break. Talk to me about the order, the sequence of this happening.
The automatic reporting first indicates smoke in the forward lavatory, immediately followed by heat compromising the right side windows in the cockpit, followed by the aircraft electronics failing, followed a minute later by the aircraft flight control system failing, which would explain the aircraft going out of control, breaking up as it hit denser air and then crashing into the ocean.
You said that this could be technical, but more than likely it's a person, and that's because of how quickly this all happened.
The speed with which the fire appears to have spread is more consistent with an accelerant, some sort of petroleum product, a bomb, something like that.
So a terrorist act.
It is more suggestive of that. You could certainly have a cigarette in a trash bin in the lavatory, but that would be more of a smoldering fire.
Right.
This thing consumed the cockpit within 2 to 3 minutes, and that is almost certainly some sort of human intervention as opposed to technical failure.
With a fire like that, does anybody on board stand a chance?
Probably not. The flight crew was at the scene of the fire and unable to perform their duties, and then the fire deprived the ability to control the airplane by compromising the electronics. That airplane is flown by computers, and when the computers are gone, the airplane is incapable of being controlled.
Now, with all of our TSA screenings and everything else that they do at the airports, how would someone, and we're not saying this is what happened, but how could somebody even get an accelerant on board? I mean, they're anytime I've flown, they're very strict. You know, I've thrown out shampoos before, you know, but how would they get that on?
Unlikely it came in through the passengers. The weak link, and everybody admits this, are airport workers and contractors that work on airport premises that have access to airplanes. I might add this would not happen in the United States. Our controls are very strict.
We have, yeah,
but
we're very strict.
Overseas there are some problems, and there's certainly some work to be done.
People who are afraid to travel, like myself, you know, you see these things happen time and time again, and I know they're kind of freak things. They don't happen all the time, but enough to where it could make somebody concerned about traveling overseas. What would you say?
I think it's still a very safe place to be, the cabin of a commercial airliner, statistically, in terms of the different situations you can put yourself in that will cause you harm. This is still way down on the list. It's still very safe.
Right, that's true. Talk to about what can be done, and we'll wrap after this, but just what can be done to make things safer?
I think they're going to have to do a better job of controlling access from the ramp area. The airport workers, the people that bring supplies into the airport are going to have to be watched more carefully. When an aircraft such as this that stopped in some foreign countries, Tunisia was one of the stops, which is an area that may not have the same controls that we have here. But I would emphasize that I do not believe this type of situation is likely to happen here in the United States, because we do have very stringent controls.
We do, and that's good news. It may be annoying, you know, when you're waiting in line, but it's worth your safety. So we will continue to follow the developments of this story, and the investigation continues on news4jax.com. Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.